The guy that's now speaking, who talked about Japan, and then went over an example of a word for spirit and death, I actually saw the meaning. It was really cool. I don't know Japanese. My dad went to Japan on his mission, and so ichi ni, if I'm even saying those right for 1 and 2, as far as I go, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Kamikaze. But to actually see, I could see the meaning. It was so cool. And if you don't know, I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. It's a visionary language. And so that helped me then decipher Egyptian, the learning of the Egyptians and the language of the Egyptians, not the learning of the Greeks from the Rosetta Stone and the language of the Egyptians. And so as part of the test that I ran for the Paleo-Hebrew vocabulary, I checked it not only with Paleo-Hebrew and thus Egyptian hieratic, as well as Demotic, but also checked it against Chinese, and was able to confirm through multiple sources the accuracy of my decipherment. And so, yeah, Japanese is a derivative from Chinese, and so that's why I'm able to see the meaning. It was really cool. And so, yeah, it was wild, because the one for spirit, lying down, is the spinal column of a human being. And so the 2 little branch offs being the heart and the soul. And then the other one for death, the J stroke, is a human being who's below the earth, buried, dead. And then there's the other line up for representing that it's the earth below rather than the heaven above line. So that was just wild that I could understand Japanese without knowing Japanese. Oh, he's doing it again. Nothing. Okay, that's a little more intensive, but I do see the heaven in there as having to do with nothing, with the line above for heaven, but then it had the 2 branch offs at the end. But yeah, it was a little more complicated for that one. But yeah, my decipherment of Paleo-Hebrew is allowing me to understand multiple languages as a result. Just thought I'd share that with you. I know that my Redeemer lives, what comfort this sweet sentence gives. You just have to say it, and it's true. Travis Wayne Goodsell, Sunday morning conference commentary, as Oakes, whom I've exposed, well, he exposed himself. I'm just the only one who picked up on it and did the video first. God. And what you also don't understand is that because of the incorporation by Heber J. Grant in 1923, This is not a religion, it's a corporation. Married couples, if you're listening, do you understand what that means? You've been having illegal sex. You're naughty. Nobody has priesthood in a corporation. Nobody is legally authorized and licensed to marry. And therefore, you're frauding the government. And, even worse, those who go on missions are also not legally licensed. You're going around the world fraudulently. And thus, the pyramid scheme that I've been telling you about all these years. This church has already fallen. As the video I was uploading is now finished. So we'll get this going and out of the way. And so those of you who are getting divorced, oh wow, look at that. Sunday morning, as expected, everybody's back from vacation, smearing poop on the walls of the Capitol, are now going, oh, it's conference weekend. Let's see what Travis has to say. It's crazy. Huh. James is pushing the boundaries. He got flagged by YouTube the other day. I had to let it go and then make a response, which I had to go to the video because YouTube didn't want me to post it. So, yep. Snow. Alrighty. So, yeah, I am well aware that Holland is going to be speaking here in just a minute or two, as Dallin H. Oaks is presiding, despite his big scandal, illegal scandal. You are not allowed, as a lawyer, to present misinformation. And as a corporate leader, revising religious history, as a corporate leader, he's in big legal trouble if anybody would hold him accountable. So yeah, the whole whistleblower of Ensign Peak Advisors, petty cash, petty change towards the bigger scandal. Really? Is it the Sabbath day? Who told us it's the Sabbath day? Can you say Constantine? Do you not understand? Seriously, you don't know the origins. You're like that return missionary doing her channel, clueless about anything. And so when you finally hear something contrary to what you've been fooled to believe, you think it's wrong. And so you have no clue that Sunday is considered the Sabbath, which is associated with the number 7, thus 7 and Sabbath. Sabbath is typically on the 7th day for Babylon, who created the 7-day week calendar. Therefore, there was no Sabbath prior to Babylon, who created the calendar. Thus, like, nobody had celebrated Sabbath on Sunday until after Constantine created it and made the change. Nobody thinks about this, to put things in their chronological historical context. And thus you get fooled. And so, if we're restoring Jesus as literal history, ignoring the first creed, when Jesus says, keep the Sabbath day holy, he's not talking about Sunday. He's talking about the Jewish Babylonian Sabbath on Saturday. And so, yeah, even still, the commandments also say, thou shalt have no other gods than the Jewish God. Jesus is not the Jewish God. Therefore, Jesus is a false idol Christ. Not supposed to worship him. So says the Ten Commandments. Being plastered all over the public schools across this nation now. Oh, he's talking about women having kitchen duty. Oh my God. Did you not hear that? Oh my God. He's talking about Jesus' time and kitchen duty. They didn't have kitchens. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's rewriting Roman period history. But yeah, I really did not want this to keep getting extended. Last year, before conference, I retired. I said I'll most likely do a video of whatever conference or Nelson gives. Jesus didn't study, so we don't have to study. And by not studying, he was able to confound scholars and lawyers when he was just 12. This fraud must be stopped. Dear God, they're just changing everything. And Christians aren't smart enough to know their scriptures either. And so they aren't going to know that he's wrong. This is just so horrible, it's laughable. Seriously. Mr. Shoot 'em in the face if they're unbelievers with a musket. Dear God. Oh, I just see that I surpassed 4.1K videos today. Well, what do you know? Do not ignore teachings that you find uncomfortable. That doesn't feel right. No. If by chance you meet a false doctrine, you better let it stay. Quickly obey it right away. And submit to God today. Oh, dear hell. So, great googly moogly. This is Revisionist History 101. Revisionist history is an evil practice. It's where you deny and lie about the truth because you have a malicious agenda. Thus, the Dallin H. Oaks turning the BYU movie into literal history. And seriously. And you thought that Trump was the only one who did this. Who do you think taught Trump? Oh my hell. Dear God. See, they keep talking about Christians likewise, about how Jesus heals you, your physical maladies, your emotional, your spiritual maladies, and yet where is he? He only does it in the stories where he appears to the people. Where is he? He doesn't appear to us. But yet we keep being told, Jesus heals, trust in Jesus, believe in Jesus, he's going to heal. But he only heals when he's with people. Where is he? People are not getting healed who believe in him. This has been a scam in televangelists, where people believe that Jesus is real through this preacher who can heal them, and he's doing a stage performance. And then you have the scandal that was shown on YouTube of the one preacher who knocked a wheelchair-bound person to the ground and then walked away from him. He's still not healed. And people have to help him back up and into the wheelchair and then get him out of the way so he doesn't cause problems. Dear God, and people still stick with the church and still give them of their substance. So many people getting scammed by these Christian frauds created by Constantine. I mean, he is talking like he's near death. He didn't show up for one of the sessions, at least yesterday. And so, but still, I mean, seriously, nothing today? I mean, yeah, we have a whole day ahead of us, but do we have to seriously wait until the Day of Atonement? I'm not doing videos, sorry. It's like last year. I quit. I'm through. I'm retired. If the Jewish God can quit, so can I. Oh my hell. And so yeah, I'm sticking around to hear from him because I've heard that after him there's a bunch of blah blah blahs. So I'll continue on until he finishes. He's just rambling. Dear God. See, by turning the scriptures into literal history, both the Bible and the Book of Mormon, you know, people think that, oh, Jesus is real. Oh, look at all the works he's done. Oh, he's so true. And then you get these con artists telling you extra and above of what he's able to do. And nobody catches on, wait a minute, there is no Jesus. He's not here in my life. And we are expected to just feel his presence, feel his power, feel and believe that he's true, and say the words, I know that my Redeemer lives. Oh, I feel so much better now. When the scriptures from which they are conning us, he's with you. He's there with them, healing them, teaching them, correcting them from the false doctrines of the Pharisees, who created hedge laws around the one and only one commandment, love. But Oaks is telling you, you must obey us. These are commandments from Jesus, and you must obey. But there's only one, love. But no, that's not what he means. That's not what he means. It's not what any of them mean. They're lying to you because you won't read. That's how Christianity fell. Gutenberg Bible printed the Bible for other people to obtain so that they can read for themselves. And so Luther, why did he do what he did? because he had his own Bibles, and he read. And he understood what he read and went, hey, wait a minute, that's not what I was told by the Catholic priest. Amazing what happens when you just read. So Mormons, what the hell? The learning of the Jews. And you still think Christian, huh? God. Now he's saying we have to go to church. You're not going to be blessed if you cut class. Is that a toupee on your head? Or did you just barely get a haircut and they didn't really do much on top, similar to what I just did recently? See, he's talking about him not being there. We think he's abandoned us, but he's there carrying us. Footprints in the sand. No! He has to be there. Oh, the big scam. Blessings, it's now receive your blessings as part of the temple experience. The sacred blessings of the house of the Lord. Really? Blessings. To obey your husband, to kill yourself to protect the church from criminal prosecution, to hold your tongue in criticism of the church leaders, and now the higher law of child bride polygamy of Jesus. Child bride polygamy of Jesus. And slave to Jesus and his kingdom. And I had spoken, or I had chatted through comments with Idaho chick, who I saw changed her thumbnail picture yesterday, about this. That this whole concept of leaders only getting women, child bride marriages, harems, whereas the men are the slaves, even if they're an elder. They are not leaders of the church. And so, to have the bloodbath in the coming days, Mormon men would be oblivious to this. They're told that they have to slave for the kingdom. It's Jesus. Turn that frown upside down. Feel good about it. There it goes. So the rest of this is crap. Dear God. I don't even want to dare. Oh my hell. But the women, as sex slaves in a harem, are hidden from society. Barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, remember? Handmaid's Tale, for those of you who violate the church's orders not to see porno. I saw the first episode when I first obtained it and converted it, so I can digitize it and watch it whenever I want without the external DVD players. And I only got to the part where the main character woman was getting raped with the hymn in the background. That crossed the line. I couldn't watch anymore. That was just too horrific to me. And I just, dear God. And yet that's exactly what's going to happen. These handmaids for Jesus, trad wives, as they're now coming out with, are going to be hidden away from society. Nobody will even know, so that nobody will be tempted to have illegal sex with them. And so only the first wife and her children will be the ones to grow up to replace their fathers as leaders of the kingdom. And the children of the secondary wives, they will be, the men will be the ones that go to replenish the slavery operation. And the girls, once they turn of breeding age, they're going to be married off to daddy or somebody else in the gang to keep the system going. And so thus you control the population by denying sex to unworthy men, fooling them and believing that they are helping build the kingdom, and being told that there's a shortage of women. Sorry, guys. You have to work for the kingdom. Hopefully one day we'll be able to replenish the kingdom with what, and then they won't talk about it. Just what's a woman? They will never know because they get put into the slave system of this church. This is the nightmare that I see coming. And so yes, if there is no fall of this church, if there is no locking them up for their crimes and their frauds and their abuses, if they get away with it, and we already know the nightmare is going to happen this election. MSNBC is still putting out the videos to the choir who already know about this, who are going to vote for Harris. They're not reaching MAGA, who don't understand. MAGA wants the chaos and the anarchy and the overthrow of the government, thinking that they are going to prosper. Just like Mormons have that system, likewise with the United States, but you are going to be a part of the church's kingdom. That's what nobody else outside of Mormonism understands. This church is cooing the government to take over the government, to run your lives. You think Trump is going to be president? The church is going to step up and enslave you. And so any breedable woman will be added to a church leader's harem. Any woman who's not breedable, you're not needed anymore. And so unless you're attractive enough to one of the priesthood leaders to be the occasional once a year, depending on how many women in the harem, it's just an upcoming nightmare and nobody even cares. We've been warned by other authors and makers of Hollywood TV shows and movies. You're not the same woman that was... Did we already have a switch with the... by talking that long? I don't think so. There's a second woman up. Yeah, she's doing the emotional plea that even though we do not have physical Jesus to take care of all of our problems, because our government and the economy and the church won't let it be done, we need to have that hope and confidence that there is a Christ and he will eventually be healed when we're dead. It's just so sad. And as a black woman, so sad. Of all the struggles in life, 600 years of those just in America, to have suffered because of white supremacist Christian nationalism. They were Islamists in Africa. even though that's abusive too to women and to men and to others. But coming to America to the slave owners, they were forced to become Christian. And so thus you have the Southern Baptists and other Christian branch-offs of dominantly black persons whose ancestors were involved in slavery. And thus Haiti and all the islands likewise. Just so sad. I mean, this is psychological manipulation. This is what children do after a school shooting. They go, told by a psychologist, cope with it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Government's not going to lock them up. We're trying to work with the government to send them into our care and treatment so that we can rape them and use conversion therapy, like in the Clockwork Orange. But, you know, there are people calling for his extermination with the death penalty. So much abuse in this world that just needs to stop, and they are in control. And when you step back and look at it, yeah, like Albert Pike said, these anarchists are the minority, but they have the bigger voices. And because they are so threatening and violent, it seems like they are in control, because they are in control by force. And so that's how the church runs it. Fear. God will smite you down if you leave this church. You must pay. See, that's the Lorenzo Snowface. They purposely did a point of view of him staring into the camera saying his line. Pay your tithing. Oh dear God. Oh, man. I was really hoping that the Nelson thumbnail would do better for me, but it's not. The second session, no. The first session, though, is doing very well, except for more thumbs down, obviously. It's like those Mormons didn't even listen to him, don't even know what it's about. All they know is that I'm attacking the church and I'm the evil enemy. You need to stop and leave us alone, Travis. Oh my hell. Bullying and threatening unbelievers is picking up the pace, Bacani. But the pre-show is falling behind. I had a person who commented on the Mary the Mormon video and was going, what the bleep is this? I'm sorry, should I give you more milk? Was my meat too much for you? Lion meat? And so, yeah, seeing her as the token black woman to speak at conference and on Sunday, when the majority of Mormons watch, when if you're not a Mormon, this is when you watch. All a trap. All a trap. So, alrighty, I think this is it. And if there's more, I'll add to it as the video gets uploaded. Oh my God, they're going to have child predator and racist Brad Wilcox speak. I warned you. They're hoping you all forgot. Oh my God. See, the church does not care about any of you. Despite all the abuse of just Brad Wilcox alone, here he is back at conference, promoted in the Sunday school, or the young men's. They don't listen to you. They don't care about you getting abused. Oh, it's just so horrifying. And so, yeah, the Protect LDS Children movement, yeah, the church tricked you. They pacified you guys to think the church changed. And then, boom, they then come out with 11 years old child bride polygamy. How dare you tell us what to do? And women, yeah, no. No. But you feel better, don't you? Yeah, that was the trap. They placated you with your feelings to manipulate you. And the NAACP, the church, again, Nelson's photo op with the president of the NAACP. I am just horrified. This church is racist. And here, the church is exploiting the business deals with the NAACP, showing that they have conquered the NAACP, that they are subjected to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is not a church, it's a corporation. And they're just letting blacks believe that the church is okay, because the NAACP leaders have been compromised. Wouldn't be surprised if there's financial receipts along with the business deals of the church, because every corporation who does charity, they make a living off of running the charity. So after Helen, yeah, all the charities are now popping up saying, give us money, we'll help the people. Well, you give the money to them, well, they have to live. And so they profit off of it. And so, yeah, there are those that do give charity, but like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, it's only a token amount, and the church profits off the most of it. And what they do give is intended as an investment to receive funding back, to pay back all of the donations that were given to the church in the first place. All a big scam. And so, yeah, the NAAC president conned, but so they treat it as witchcraft. People coming back from the dead. No! Church is true. Gift and power of God. Just a cover up. And Alyssa, which, yeah, she did the video. You see it in the video I just uploaded. She did her version. She caught on. Dum 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 dum. She got it. Stevenson is now talking about the future, the rededication of the Salt Lake Temple, the bicentennial of the organization of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on the 6th of April, 1830. Oh, and he's talking about how the world will want to know. God. They already skipped the first vision, as they had to settle for the Saturday evening session in April. And then they didn't even touch the second vision. A whole year went by and only me was talking about it. Oh, this is so abominable. So, yeah, it's most likely going to be Irene that's going to speak at the end here. Once we get the other... He talked about a Greek word for the gospel. Good news. Not quite. Gospel is a God spell, God tale. It's not good news. That's a Christian error that he just gave and pretended that he knows Greek. Let's see if I can find gospel in the New Testament. We'll see if we can quickly correct it for you. Matthew 4:23. Okay. Blue Letter Bible. Matthew 4 and 23. Teaching their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom. Okay. And then we need to go to MGNT. Scroll down to 23. Huh. That's, wow. Therapy, yeah. Evangelion message. That's what gospel is. So, yeah, he was way off. Gospel, as translated from the Greek, is incorrect. It's not a God tale, it's a message. And so thus, a Malachi in Hebrew, messenger, which is incorrectly understood as angel from Constantine's. So, getting married. It's all illegal. Your marriages are illegal. You're criminals. Hey, honey, let's have illegal sex. While our kids are on an illegal mission.